Welcome to the Hard Knocks podcast, where we dive deep into the door-knocking industry, the grind, the grit it takes to succeed. This is the show for the ones who've been told no more times than they can count, but keep showing up anyway. I have a very special guest in the house tonight. He's a good friend of mine. He is the owner of E&D Premier Roofing and Solar. He's been in the game for quite some time. The way you got into this and the way I got into this, two totally different ways. A lot of guys go, you're not a roofer because you've never installed a roof, but you actually started installing roofs, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about how you got started with E&D, or how does the origin of Erick Hernandez, like how does this start, right?
Well, my dad's a subcontractor.
Okay.
So I grew up, roofing was everything that we knew since we were little, since I was born.
Mm-hmm.
It's all my dad ever did forever. He's still doing roofing right now to this day.
Yeah.
And so I would always go and work with my dad on the weekends here and there, but my dad never really wanted me to pursue anything in the roofing industry because my dad only knew the labor side. He didn't know the business side.
Right.
And then so, I mean, even after high school, he didn't let me go work with him. He wanted me to go to school, get an education, American dream,
Right.
be in an office, AC, not having to work outside in the heat, breaking my back. And so I didn't even pursue it, right? Because I didn't know the business side of it.
Yeah.
And then I worked at a pawn shop for 5 years, and I had to give the pawn shop a lot of my credit of like how to customer service, reading people, negotiation, like because in the pawn shop, like you've got to make decisions and you got to read people based off of how much you're gonna let them borrow. Like, do they really want to borrow this, or are they just saying that?
Right.
Like, do I want to buy it off of them? So I was able to learn how to read people at an early age when I was at the pawn shop.
Yeah.
So I think that helps me a lot now, especially when you're at the door. You need to be able to read somebody right away, see which way your pitch is going to go, right?
100%.
And so I was at the pawn shop, and I honestly was going to try to go up that corporate ladder, be an area supervisor, be in charge of 6, 7, 8 stores.
Yeah.
But you know what they say, whenever you have a bad leader, it trickles down, you lose good employees because of bad leadership. That's exactly what happened in my situation. The supervisor that I had at the time was not letting me run the store the way that it needed to be ran. He would go in there, change my schedule. He would just do a whole bunch of things.
Yeah.
I ended up getting tired of it, so I quit.
Yeah.
And then I didn't do nothing for about 2 months. Yeah. Right? And then I asked my dad, Wiley, 2016.
Ooh,
hit.
Yes,
like this big.
Fucking 3-inch hail.
Yeah. And so that's when that hit. And I asked my dad, I saw my dad was working almost every day, Monday through Sunday.
Yeah.
So I asked him, I'm like, hey, can I go work? He was like, are you going to be able to withstand the heat? I'm like, yeah, I got it.
I ain't a bitch. Yeah, I got that.
And that ended up me working with him. That led to me being with him for 3.5 years. Right?
Yeah.
Then I started getting the mindset, I'm going to buy my trucks. I'm going to buy my trailers. I'm going to be a sub. I'm going to have 3, 4, 5 different crews.
Yeah.
I'm going to go work for these big companies.
Yeah.
Right? That's all I knew. That's all my dad could teach me.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I say this story all the time. I can guarantee you when my guys see this, they're going to be like, damn, you're telling this story again?
Yeah.
A sales rep that the company that my dad worked for, a sales rep dropped a contract in the yard that I was cleaning.
Uh-huh.
The ticket, $18,000.
Yeah.
I put it in my pocket. I go and I tell my dad, how much is this material? He was like $6,000. And I'm like, okay, how much are you going to get paid? He was like, $4,000. I'm like, Dad, he's making $8,000 and he's not even here. Not knowing that the contracting side was actually a lot more mentally draining, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, even to this day, the subs, they get an address, they know they're getting paid.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. We get an address, that shit might get denied the first time. We have to re-inspect, appraisal, litigation. I mean, sometimes it takes years, sometimes it takes 2-3 weeks.
Yep.
And then so that's when the little light bulb went off in my head that I was on the wrong side of the industry. And then so I made some little cards on Vistaprint, E&D Premier Roofing. I even spelt Premier wrong. I spelled it Premier or Permier.
No regrets.
Yeah. And then I was still working for my dad.
Yeah.
I was getting up early in the morning, 5:30, 6 o'clock, getting ready. But whenever I knew I had an inspection or an appointment, I would take my backpack and with clean clothes. I'd go work all day with my dad, sweat, fucking sun, everything. About 4:30, 5 o'clock, hey, Dad, I got to go. I'm going to go run an appointment, see if I can get something for us, right?
Right.
find the nearest LA Fitness, just wherever I was at. Walk in, take a shower, put my clean clothes on, walk right back out and go to my appointment.
Yeah.
And that's how I started in 2000, I want to say 18.
Yeah.
I did maybe like about 6 or 7 jobs like that. And then it wasn't until 2019 in February that I started getting traction thanks to social media.
Right.
And then I was all like, I got to get off of the roof. I can't go sell the job and then do the roof with my dad.
Yeah.
Right? With the vision that I had in my mind.
Yeah.
And then so I completely jumped off. Right?
Yeah.
And I built the airplane on the way down.
Yep.
So
Yep.
7 years later, here we are.
Yeah.
We were able to scale to 8 figures. We're on track to do that again this year.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, we've pretty much been through it all.
Yeah, dude. I love what you've done. Like, I watch all your stuff on social media, dude. I love the office you built, like that huge conference room, and you got the podcast, and you got the floors all like nice and done with the E&D on it, dude. You even inspired me to put all the core values on the wall. I was like, literally, when we put it across the street, I was like, you see this? I was like, I want this on my wall. Like, I was like, because you have it all up there on the wall, because you know you live and die on your core values. You hire and fire by them, right? What are your core values over there at E&D?
So it's evolve, discipline, persistent, and relationships. So it's literally the acronyms of E&D Premier Roofing.
Gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
Evolving, we always have to evolve, especially in this industry.
One of mine too, yeah.
You know, RPS policies, 2%, 3%, 4% deductibles, and then like these homeowners get their policy switched up without them even knowing. It's in the fine print, 10 years or older, you're automatically switched to an RPS policy.
Yeah.
It's just, I would see it back then, but now I see it more often now.
Yeah.
So it's just finding ways to work around that evolve.
Yeah.
Discipline, well, we all know discipline. Like, you need discipline, that motivation. You know, people see the big checks, they're motivated.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and get one of those. But then when they see what it takes to get one of those big checks, if you don't got the discipline, you ain't going to make it.
Absolutely.
And then
it's called uninformed optimism.
And then persistence, right? Persistence. We do that. You got to be persistent in everything that you do. Communication, following up, lead generation, networking, all that good stuff. And then the last one, relationships, right? We wouldn't be here without building relationships.
100%.
So relationships is one of the best things, one of the most important things in the industry. And we finish that one off with remaining honest with yourself and your teammates and your homeowners, right? Because a lot of people see your culture, they see my culture, they're like, I want to be part of that.
Right.
Because I look up to you too. I look at your stuff all the time too. I talk about you in my meetings all the time too.
Yeah.
And I'm all like, culture's great, but if somebody's here for 3, 4, 5 months because the culture's great, but they're not making money, they shouldn't be here.
Right.
So that's part of the interview process. And when I'm bringing them in and talking to them is like, that one right there is one of the most important ones that I'm going to tell you. You got to remain honest with yourself because this type of sales is not for everybody.
Right.
Right? Because I've had people who kill it like at AT&T, T-Mobile. Oh, yeah, I sold phones. I sold this. Like, that's different, though, because you got people walking in needing a new phone. Like, here you got to go find the people.
Exactly, man.
And so, what about you? What are your core values?
Man, so continually evolve, right? So not just in the roofing industry, right? But like personal development, right? Because I'm big on, going to the gym, right? Holding yourself to a higher standard, getting 1% better each and every day. People over profits mindset, which means it's not just for the company, okay? Like, and people go, oh, well, I sold the deal for 12% margin. Ain't that fucking people over profits? I'm like, no. What I mean is we want to put the person first, right? The profits will then come. Do what you say, okay? So, like, meaning if you say you're going to be here at 10 o'clock, be here at 10 o'clock. If you tell a homeowner you're going to be somewhere, be there, okay? Be impeccable with your word, okay? So, like, just like I do with my kids, which means, like, my kids go, hey, can we go to whatever, right? I'm like, if I cannot tell them for sure a yes, I say maybe, right? But if I say yes, I'm moving hell and high water to make sure that actually happens, right? And then be coachable. And that's not just for everybody except me, right? We all have to be coachable. We all have to be able to receive feedback, and we all have to be able to be better, right? Constructive criticism, man. Like, we all need that for us to each level up, and we can't get fucking butthurt or act like we know it all, because ego, I believe, is what truly kills the culture, right? I've had to fire my top producers before. that is one of the hardest things to do, right? Because from a business standpoint, you're like, oh man, you know, this guy's killing it. He brings in so much revenue. But if he brings in this shitty fucking attitude and like, nobody can touch me and blah, 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 and he puts a target on his back, like, you know what I mean? It destroys the rest of the fucking culture and nobody wants to be around that person and it sucks the air out the room. So be coachable, continually evolve, people over profits mindset, and do what you say. Like, those are the 4 core values that we have here. And our mission statement is enhancing our neighborhood by enhancing our people. Because I really believe that, like, roofing is personal development in disguise. You know, it's like how well a person develops in their personal life directly translates to what happens at the door. You know, because it's the most judgmental industry in the world. Like, when people open the door, if you look like a fucking fat slob and you haven't had a haircut or your beard's not trimmed or your clothes aren't ironed or, you know, you can't articulate yourself well, you can't, like, look people in the eyes, you don't have confidence, you don't have energy. Like, I could sit here all day and teach you all the tactics and the rebuttals and all that shit. But if you don't have that, they're never even going to hear you. You know what I mean? People want to do, like, right when someone opens the door, they can tell in 2 and 3 seconds whether they're even going to listen to you or not, right? And so that I think is the key factor in this. Because I tell guys, I'm like, when even my recruiter, right? I'm like, guys got to look good. They have to, or the woman has to look good. Like, and I'm not saying like you can't be successful in this. Like, I'm not talking about like ugly and beautiful, right? I'm talking about how well put together you are and the standard that you hold for yourself. Because you're dealing with people's homes, you're dealing with their insurance, and you're a complete fucking stranger when you knock on someone's door. You know what I mean? So all of those things are going to hold a lot of weight when you're doing that deal. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's going to give you the leg up. Because there's 10,000 roofing companies in DFW, right? I say our industry is saturated, but there's not a lot of competition. You know, went out to that Sanger Storm. I'm looking at guys with fucking neck tats across their shit, fucking these gauged earrings and shit, just riding around on hoverboards and all that. I'm like, listen, like that's, you know, the barrier of entry into this is so easy. It's like, and there's so many of them out there, but like, there's not a lot of people that hold themselves to a high standard, that have core values in their company, that care about their company. Even when I tell guys, I'm like, look at roofing companies near me. You'll notice that like a lot of them are running their roofing company out of their fucking house. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, it's like ABC company. And you look and it's a house that's like 2 streets away.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I'm like, how well does this guy care about his business? You know what I mean? If he's not growing, scaling, has a back office staff that has the support, that can support the warranties and things like that. Like, all of that stuff matters in DFW. You know what I mean? Especially in DFW, because it's the Thunderdome out here. You know what I mean? But let's backtrack. So year 1, man, how was it?
Year 1 was about a trial and error.
Trial and error.
I knew the concept of it. I would go and like, I targeted all my friends and family, right?
Yep.
Like, hey, like all the people that I went to high school with that I knew were homeowners. Hey, let me get on your roof. Let me do this. Let me do that.
Right.
And I started like, I wouldn't even like help them file the claim. I'd just be like, you need a new roof, file the claim.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And let me know when the adjuster's going to come up.
Yeah.
And then they would call me and I was nervous and because I've never done an adjuster meeting before, right?
Yeah.
And so I was all like, call me whenever the adjuster comes. And they would call me, hey, the adjuster's going to be here tomorrow at 2. I'm like, oh, shit, I double booked myself. I got another adjuster meeting at 2. I didn't know what to do.
Right.
So I was just out there just
freestyling it. Right.
And then I started getting a little bit more traction. The contractor that my dad still works for to this day. He had a sales guy that was about my age, and then I just kind of started picking his brain, and he kind of started telling me what to do, how to do this, do that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bet. And so that's how I ended up getting my first couple of deals through the insurance. And then I went and there was a company at a Carrollton called R&R Exteriors. I don't think they're around anymore. I think it's called AJ Roofing or something like that now.
Yeah.
But I was at R&R Exteriors. I was there for about 3 months because I wanted to go into a company to see what I needed to learn.
Right.
I didn't know anything about the reinspect process. I didn't know about the appraisal process. I didn't know you could supplement. I thought that the insurance, you got a $10,000 estimate, that
was it. Yeah.
So as soon as I picked that up and I'm all like, I know how to do. That's it. I was out.
Yeah.
Right. One of the biggest difference. One of the things that I always try to compare myself to, and that I might be getting a little off topic, but it's right here, so I'm gonna say it. Is that whenever I did leave that roofing company, right?
Yeah.
When I left, my pipeline was full. And storm had just hit in Arlington. I went and I worked, and I had like 7 deals.
Yeah.
Ready to go. Big houses, 56 square houses, right?
Yeah.
But I wasn't. The atmosphere that I was in was toxic. So I ended up leaving. I'm like, man, I'm not gonna I can do this shit on my own. I'm leaving.
Right.
Right. But when I left, I didn't take not one single job with me, not one single rep, not one single vendor, not one single nothing. Right. Because I knew it in my heart that I could go out there and I can make it happen.
Exactly.
Right. And then so
that's called fucking character. Okay. Because anytime that you're gonna leave a company, like people go, oh, well, those are my deals and all this shit, right? Like, listen, if you're going to leave anything that's contracted with that company, you leave with that company, okay? You don't just go try to flip your own fucking deals and take all the stuff, because guess what? Like, guys go, I hear this all the time. They bought me. They didn't buy the company. I'm like, dude, listen, they bought both of us, okay? Because if they looked you up and you had... maybe you only been in business for 30 days, which me and you both know what that's like, right? Like when you haven't been in business, you have no online presence. You're not on the BBB. You're not on, you don't have the RCAT license, or you're not part of RCAT. You're not part of all of these groups, right? You haven't been around long enough. People do look at that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't give a fuck how good of a salesperson you are. You know what I mean? So it is 50-50. And I don't think that people should... Sales guys got to get it out of their mind to go, hey, fuck, these are all my deals and this is my shit. You know what I mean? I think the ethical way, like what you did, right, is you don't go recruit the people from the company you were just at. You don't try to sideswipe them, because guess what? That company gave you that opportunity for you to be successful. They taught you the tools. They taught you the skills. Show some respect. Give them their stuff back. Wipe your hands clean and go start your shit. Because honestly, dude, if you're a true hustler, you can start it from the bottom at any time. And if you're not a true hustler and you don't have that abundant mentality, then you're just trying to fucking take everything from this company because you're worried about your own hustle.
Yep.
That's what it is, right?
100%.
But go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I think it sounds like you've been through that too.
Oh, dude, yes.
So, but then I started thinking, like, I can't expect everybody to act and do things the way that I do, right?
Right.
And so, but I mean, even now, whenever somebody is on the verge of leaving, because I mean, you should be able to, I feel like as the owner, you should be able to read the room and be like, something's wrong with this guy. His numbers are down. He's changing. You put him to the side. Hey, what's going on? Right. So you kind of feel it like whenever something's happening. So I've learned not to give the people the benefit of the doubt and have that conversation sooner than later.
Yep.
Right. And I've had people who come in, resign, and I'm like, okay, cool. You've got 5 jobs in prospects.
Yep.
You knocked them. Do you want them? Right. Yes or no? You can take them.
Yep.
Right. And not because of my ego or anything, but because I know that I'm gonna be okay.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But now it's the problem occurs whenever they say, nah, I don't want any of that. Like, it's cool. And then they start going over everything, like stuff that you hadn't approved, stuff that you had in appraisal.
Yep.
That's whenever, like, okay, so like, what's up? Like, I talked to you as a man in person. I gave you the opportunity. Like, what's up?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And it's just like, I've come to find out that there's gonna be people like that they just don't care, because they don't have that character, like you were saying.
Right.
They don't have it. And
I tell guys this. I said, listen, I don't want to hold any hostages. You get paid every single dollar when you leave here. There's 4 sections that I have. I pay a 10-50-50. So you get 15% for filing the claim, 10% for getting the roof bought, 15% for doing the contract, and 10% for amendments, supplements, finalization, doing the final walkthrough, right? If you did the contract, okay, and you're ready to leave or go to another company or whatever, right? You're going to get paid up to wherever you were at that point, because I don't want to hold anybody here that does not want to be here. And the second promise I tell people is I'm never going to beg for you to stay, ever. Okay? The only time I'm ever going to fucking fuck with your commissions, okay, is that if I catch you flipping deals from Miller Storm that are in our CRM to another company, and you've been doing it for quite some time, because I don't know how long those damages have been going on for. And that's the only time I'll do that to you. Oh, and also if you're like smoking meth or like shooting heroin and you're going around to homeowners' houses, because now you just fucked up the reputation of Miller Storm.
yeah.
So like that's the other time where I'm gonna fucking dock your fucking commissions. But otherwise, if I don't have any true evidence of you ever flipping deals, I mean, we just had an issue last year where everybody was like, we shouldn't pay this guy $1. I owed him $18,000, right? I'm like, listen, I don't have any solid proof that this guy has ever taken business from Miller Storm. I have hearsay, but I don't have any evidence. And if I don't have any evidence, I'm gonna pay the guy the money. You know what I mean? That's it. I always want to make sure I give those guys the benefit of the doubt, even though if I'm getting screwed, because that's how the universe works, bro. Like, I don't ever want to convict somebody of being guilty when they could possibly be not guilty. That's like my biggest fear, right? So I always make sure people get paid. And I hate that that's the way the industry works sometimes, because I've had guys come from other companies and they move over here and they're like, yeah, they took 28 grand from me. I'm like, 28,000? Like, what are you guys doing, bro? Like, you're threatening this guy's whole lifestyle, and you pretty much are like holding him hostage. Do you want a hostage, or do you want somebody that's working with your team? You know what I mean? And I think that's something that really needs to change inside of the roofing industry. But let's get back to this, bro. So E&D, it stands for Erick and Daisy, right?
Erick and Daisy, yeah. So it was we started off as the mom and pop shop, but I think as we continue to grow, like I think we're becoming and we're evolving something much more than just a mom and pop shop, right?
Absolutely. But you and your wife co-own the company,
yes,
right?
me and my wife.
Yeah, so do I, right? So me and Taylor, we co-own it too. Yeah. I wanted to talk to you about that, bro, because I think that is, what are your thoughts on that, man? I mean, I think it's the biggest superpower, but I also, because nobody you trust more than your wife, right? But it's not easy.
So I know Taylor from social media, and then that one time that we were at the Apex studio, right?
Yeah.
And then Daisy was there with me too. Whenever we were with at the Apex thing, remember?
Yeah. We won't say their names. But
but Daisy was there, and then you were there with your wife, and then like your wife was all like whenever they were talking about the commission stretch, she was crunching numbers, boom, boom, boom. Yeah. And I was all like, what's up? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Daisy she went to school to be a dental hygienist, right? So she's got a bachelor's degree in science and dental hygiene. So she was in dental hygiene. She's the one that held it down whenever I didn't have the roofing company, whenever I was messing up in life and doing everything, didn't have no money. And then once COVID happened, you know, she almost killed all of us because she got sick, and then she got all of us sick, and then I was out for like 3 months, bro. Like that shit, like
almost killed you.
Well, it didn't almost kill me, but I was trying to sell the house. I was trying to sell the roofing company. I was trying to. I was just in my head, but yeah, I was out. I got really sick for about 3 good weeks. I couldn't get out. I couldn't get off of the couch. But after that happened, we had just bought a house. I had just gotten I had just bought a brand new truck.
Yeah.
Is
this in 2020?
2020.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I was still a one-man army.
Right.
Right. I started in 2019. 2020. I had just one other guy that was just riding around with me.
Yeah.
It happened. We got sick, and then I let the pipeline dry out. Right. I still had depreciation checks coming in, so I was able to survive the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And me being, I'm gonna just take the whole winter off. Fuck it.
Right.
Hell, never again. Never again. Hell nah. And,
you only got to do that once.
And then January hit, and then I'm like, okay, like my mortgage is due, my utilities are due.
Yep.
There ain't no money. Like I got my water cut off. My water got cut off. I'm like, damn. And so I told myself that I will never, ever, ever have a slow season again.
Yeah.
Because you just can't. Like once you let that pipeline dry out, it's like what I tell the sales guys is like whenever they first come in, it takes a good 4, 5, 6 weeks, sometimes 2, 3 months for you to get a real paycheck, right? Yep. And then so I'm like, guys, you guys are struggling right now to start making the money. Once you get on this wave and you let it die, some people don't come back. Some people can't do it 2 times. Right? I'm all like, so as soon as I see the young ones, especially the young ones making big checks, 10,000, 12,000, I'm like, please do not relax.
Yeah.
Go out there and keep getting more deals. Because if not, I don't know if you're going to be able to go through it again and like waiting another 2-3 months to get paid.
I've seen it happen too. Yeah.
And then so we all got sick. Everything, and then finally Daisy, I convinced her to come in with me, right? And I started out of my house. I started out of my studio, which was about this big, right? Yeah. And then I moved to the kitchen, and then from the kitchen I moved to the living room. So every Thursday I would move all my couches and put tables. Yeah. And that's where I would have my public adjusters. All my, like how I do now at the office, I would have them come to my house. Yeah. Once I finally got to a point to where like, okay, like we need an office. Right. I went and I got a small office. Yeah. Right. And then that small office, I got the one next to me. Yeah. And then I got one down the street, like in the same little complex, right? Yeah. But it went from like a 600 square foot office to like a 1,400 square foot office. And then I got a whole nother unit with a warehouse for production. So I moved my production team over there. Right. And then we moved into the one that we have right now. Yeah. Right? Yeah. But Daisy, going back to Daisy.
What does she do? What does she do in the company? Like, what's her role?
So right now she's the one. She's basically like the office manager, I guess you would say, right? Yeah. So she pays everybody. She makes sure that the financials are there. Yep. She reviews the files, the breakdowns, like more of the financial stuff. Absolutely. We just barely onboarded a brand new admin. Okay. Which is doing really, really good. I think she's been with us for about 2 months now. Okay. And she picked up real quick. Yeah. Real quick. And she's very good at multitasking. So Daisy is wonderful, but I know Daisy would rather be at home with the kids. Yeah. Right? So I told Daisy, I'm like, let's get her name is Leslie. I'm like, let's get Leslie to the point to where she can take over everything, and then we can hire another assistant to come in and help her out with all the small stuff. And then she likes going into the office. She likes being a part of something, right? So I'm like, you can still come every day, but you're not going to have all these responsibilities of like, damn, did I do payroll? Did I do this? Did I do that? Did I do this? Right. Right?
And she's just overlooking, making sure, all the boxes
she comes into the office and she asks, hey, what can I help you with? I got maybe about 2 hours, boom, boom, boom. Right? Right. And then my thing was like, I would always talk about work. Like, I'm obsessed with this shit, bro. Like,
me too.
Like, I couldn't even sleep the last couple of nights. I told Daisy, I'm like, because they went to the fair the other day. Yeah. And I'm like, babe, just go with the kids, because if I go, there's so much I'm creating some new SOPs for the sales guys. I'm like, I got about 10 SOPs that I got to create, and I couldn't even sleep about it. I couldn't sleep last night just thinking about them. Yeah. I'm like, just go to the fair, babe, because if I go with you, I'm not going to be there mentally, and I don't want to ruin it for the kids. Yeah. And I just go. And so she ended up going with one of her friends. And
but you guys went as a whole squad though.
We take the team every year.
That. That's
so we
cool.
have quarterly events.
I seen you like have like 40 people out there, whatever, rocking E&D shirts and shit. I was like, that's cool as hell. Yeah.
Yeah. Since
that thing got expensive, dude.
Yeah, it is.
I'm just like, bro.
So whenever we take everybody, we get a party bus. This time we had to get a charter bus. We had that many people.
Dang.
We got the charter bus to take us there, play music. The guys, the couple that drink, they drink, they have a good time. Right. We get there, and then the first time we went there, like all day, and it was like, all right, no, we got to get out of here. It was just like, it was too much. Yeah. The second time, then we got the time frame a little bit down, 2-3 hours, and then this time, same thing. Yeah. We go, we purchase tickets for everybody to go in, and then we give them $50 worth of coupons so that they can eat. Everything else is on them.
Eat once.
One turkey leg. Yeah, turkey leg was $25.
I swear to God, man, I brought my kids, dude. I have 5 kids, so like I bought $150, and I swear to God, it was gone in like 45 minutes. Yeah. I was like, how much was that turkey leg? I'm like, I thought each one of the coupons was like at least like more than $1. Like it was like, no, it was dollar for dollar. Like, and the turkey legs were like $12. I was like, damn.
Yeah. And Daisy, she had to really learn a lot of things. Just like me, I didn't know how to run or operate a business. Yeah. Right. I knew how to knock on a door, convince the homeowner to know, like, and trust me, and get the job. But then when I brought her in, it was more of like, hey, I need you to learn how to do all this so that we can go like this.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And then so Daisy was the one that initially, she's the one that started with Mike Claudio. Okay. Right? When Mike Claudio and before Mike I think it was right before Mike started his win rate consulting. He
Yeah.
had partnered up with Kimba, and they were doing like a Facebook group for like $100 a month called Inking Wins.
Okay.
That's where we met Mike.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because Kimba was one of the first.
Just so all the listeners know, so me and you had the same coach
Yes.
for a little bit. I
Sure.
met
Mike
Mike
Claudio.
Claudio through Apex,
Gotcha.
Ryan Stewman's
Yeah.
group, and yeah, he was my coach for a few months. It was a lot. Yeah, he taught me a lot in the few months that he was coaching me. I think it was like I just needed to put it on hold because I got hit with a fire hose, like, you know, because he is intense and it was like a lot to digest. And like looking back, a lot of the things that he taught me, I was like, I don't even think I was ready to step out of that comfort zone yet. Like when it talked like social media, things like that. Like he would just get on the camera and be like, this is how you do it, you know, and I would like stutter and like all of that stuff. But are you still with Mike?
No,
Mike,
we just went our separate ways.
Okay.
But Mike, I think I was with Mike 1, 2, 3, about 3.5, 4 years almost.
Yeah.
And Mike's taught me a lot of the things that we know, how to SOP creation,
Yep.
systems and processes, like a big part of a huge reason of why we are in the reason we are in is because of what we learned through win rate consulting.
Absolutely.
Right. With Clifton was my coach for about 2 years.
Muck and
him.
Fuss. Yeah, okay.
Him, and then finally is whenever I went with Mike, I asked Mike, like, hey, Mike, like, I want to work with you.
Yeah.
And then that was last year, beginning of this year.
Yeah.
He was my one-on-one coach.
Yeah.
And then so, he taught me a lot. And so whenever Daisy was in, like, Daisy was learning how to do all these things, right? And I had told her to follow Kimba, because whenever Kimba first started, when she was with RKG, like, she was spitting out all types of free knowledge.
Yeah.
Right? Kind of like how you do, kind of like how I do,
Yeah.
just our reels, right?
Yeah,
just
yeah.
And I told her, I'm like, hey,
Drop 'em
look,
again.
this is a female in the industry. Follow her. Watch what she does. Like, let's and then finally, like, Kimba right now, she is still one of Daisy's mentors.
Okay.
Right? They have a weekly call every week.
Yeah.
And they talk about, sometimes it's just personal stuff, just about business. Sometimes it's like what to do here, what to do there in the business. But Daisy has really evolved into the person she is now, because before, like, her mindset was totally different. It was like, go to school, get a job, die.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
And now it's all like, no, babe, like, look at all the opportunity that we have. Look at how much money I don't really care about the money. I care more about, like, what the money can let us do.
Absolutely.
Right? Because,
Yeah.
I mean, just being able to be like, shit, fuck it. Let's go to Florida this weekend.
Yeah.
I already booked the flights.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
It's
that,
freedom.
just that
It's
right
freedom.
there.
Yeah.
And so that's something that she had to get used to, because Daisy thought that being humble meant being, I guess, poor, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
like not being able to enjoy the better things in life, because I think it was more of like the people were like, she didn't want the people around her to think different of her.
Yep.
Right. But I told her, man, at the end of the day, babe, they're going to think whatever they want to think.
Right.
Like, even if they smile in your face right now, right? And we got this and we got that and we've done this, like, they're still going to.
Haters gonna hate.
Yeah.
Right. People are gonna think what they want to think.
And it's just like I said on the other podcast, the one that I filmed at the office with Chris, I'm like, at the end of the day, like, if we're working for something and we're able to accomplish something, why would we have to diminish our light just to make other people comfortable?
Exactly.
Right? So it doesn't make sense. So,
Yep.
like, when I bought her the Escalade,
Yeah.
she didn't want to drive it. She's like, I don't want to drive it to work. Like, what are they going to say?
Yeah.
I'm like, babe, just take your ass
Yeah.
to work. Let's
yeah,
go.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And
Yeah. My
so-
wife's the same way. She's a minimalist, right? She grew up in a trailer park, man. I mean, I didn't grow up. I grew up with humble beginnings too, but she's a minimalist, man. She doesn't like all. I mean, she likes to do the big stuff. Like, she wants to buy the house. Like, when it comes to something that's like a couple $100,000, like, that makes me trip out. Like, I'm a sneaker guy, right? Like, I'll buy like $150 pair of sneakers. She's like, hey, I want to buy this commercial building. You know what I mean? Which is what we're doing right now, right? And I'm like, it's like $1.5 million. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't want, like, she's like, we need to do it. I'm like, with big purchases, she's good. But when it comes down to, like, smaller purchases and stuff like that, like that's me. But when it comes to like the big stuff, she has no problem doing that. Like when it comes to scaling the business, you know,
that's awesome.
what are some of the struggles though, right? Like working with your wife, man. Do you guys like? I mean, you know, what is that like, dude? Because like, I mean, me and Taylor, we have our struggles, right? Like drawing that line between.
Does she have an office here?
Yeah, she has an office here.
Where's your office at? Her office.
Her office, right up there.
Where's your office?
In the next room. Yeah. Okay. We try to like not be in the same office. Yeah, because we get on each other's nerves.
The first space I got, we were in the same room.
Yeah.
She was there. I was here.
Yeah.
I sleep with her. I eat with her.
Yeah.
I see her at work all day.
Yeah.
Like, I'm all like, okay, this new building we got, she's over here and I'm all the way over here. Like,
yeah.
Like, she's got to think twice about whether she wants to get up and walk where I'm at, right? Because it's not right around the corner.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, I mean, just, I think it's more of like, whenever I'm more of a risk taker.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, I am very impulsive. I make decisions, boom, like that.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're not the best decisions, right? Sometimes I'll be fucking up. Yeah. But for the most part, I tell Daisy, I'm like, babe, you gotta understand, like, all these decisions have led us to where we're at right now. Exactly. Like all this risk taking, all this has led us to where we're at right now. Like if we were to wait until everything was picture perfect, like the wind was, you know, blowing that way, the amount that you needed it to, it would have never happened.
Right.
And so it's just, it's not for the weak, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're with each other all the time. Sometimes I have opinions about the company and then she comes back and she's all like, well, and I'm like, no, what do you mean, well? Like, no, like, this is what needs to happen. She's like, no, it's because this is, I'm like, no, babe, just trust me. And like, sometimes we'll butt heads because of that.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And then when we go home, before she really, you know, started playing a more active role in the company, I was always talking about work. And I was always on my phone. I was always answering. I was always doing this and that. And she couldn't understand.
Yeah.
Right? Especially whenever, like, I was still heavy in the field. You know, your schedule changes like that. Your day changes like that. Yeah. So she would call me and she'd be like, hey, so what are you doing today? I'd be like, oh, at 9 o'clock I got this. At 11 o'clock I got this. At 1 o'clock I got to go over here. And then at 3 o'clock I got to go over here. And she would memorize every single stop, right? And then she would call me like, hey, where you at? I'm like, oh, I'm picking up a check over here. She was like, but you said you were going to be over here at this time. I'm like, babe, but you got to understand, if somebody calls me that they have a check, everything changes. I rearrange my schedule. And I think that's one of the beauties about this industry, too, is that you're able to do that, right?
Yeah.
You're able to just make a phone call and move some things around to make some things happen.
Absolutely.
But yeah, me and Daisy are, I think it took for her to actually get in the business and work to see and actually ride with me sometimes to see what it is that we do.
Yep.
Right?
Because there's a lot of variability. You know, like, I mean, one day you could be having a bunch of meetings and then something happens and then you got to go put out a fire and then you need to do interviews and drama in the company or there's conflict. You got to sit people down. Like, there's all kinds of things going on. I got a question for you. So you've been in business 19.
So 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Six. Going on 7.
Going on 7. Okay. What was your, what do you think is the biggest struggle for you now scaling to the next levels?
I think, so we're at that 8-figure mark, right? And then we had our whole org chart ready to bust out 25 million this year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I had it all like down to how many people I needed. And this department, that department, this department, everything.
Yeah.
And then everything just went to shit, right? And it goes back down to, like, if you have that one bad person on your team, that cancer, you know, especially, and it affects the culture, everything starts getting affected. Yeah. So for me, like, I think one of the biggest bottlenecks this year was not letting the people, how should I say it? Not getting rid of people when I should have.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Having them linger around too much and not letting them go.
Absolutely.
Right? And then so that killed us this year because we went from like 40 people down to like 20, down to like 15, down to like 10.
Yeah.
Down to the point to where I told Daisy when I was like at 30.
I remember we talked and you were like, I got 9 reps now. And
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
I was like at 20. When I was at 20, there was still like there had been people who left and people who quit, people who started their own companies.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right. But then they were coming back and they were trying to recruit, offering them stupid pay structures and all this. And
90-10 split.
And so they were they were over here thinking that the grass was greener on the other side.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And then I'll say it right now, it was greener because it was fake.
Yeah.
Right? and so
it was artificial turf.
Yeah. Because almost all of the people that left to go to wherever they went are no longer there.
Yeah.
Right? But it goes back to like us not having the systems in play. Like I just mentioned earlier, I just created like 10 different SOPs for the sales side, right?
Right.
So my sales, I feel like we were rocking and rolling. We were fucking doing jobs left and right. Money was coming in.
Yeah.
That I didn't focus on the foundation, right?
Yeah.
And then so we were up here, and then once it started crumbling, the foundation wasn't strong enough. The structure wasn't there for me to be able to fix everything.
Right.
And everything just fell.
Yeah.
When I was like at 20 people, and some of these guys were still trying to recruit some of the guys, and I would hear that they would go eat lunch with them, that they would go eat dinner with them, they would go to the bar with them. I'm like, man, like, I told Daisy, I got to get rid of everybody.
Yeah.
I got to get rid of the whole team and start over.
Right.
Right. And it almost got to that point. Obviously, I had my key players that I know, you know, they're still people who've been with me for 3, 4, 5 years.
Right.
Right. And so like everybody else, finally they left, and then finally there was one person left, and I just ended up just parting ways with him. I'm like, hey, you know what, man? There's a core value misalignment. I think it's just better if you go your separate ways. And then right then and there, right, I sat him down. We're gonna go through your jobs that you haven't approved, that you haven't invoiced, jobs that I've already done. You're gonna call the homeowner. You're gonna tell them I'm no longer working here. Eric's taking over your files.
Right.
Right. That way, the community I can take over easily.
Yeah.
Right. And then I paid him his commission up to what he had done up at that point.
Yeah.
Right. So like the commission on a job was like $3,000. I paid him 15.
Right.
And then the other rep that finished the job out, he got the other 15.
Right.
Right. But that's one of the things that we had to do too, is we had to get these contracts in place. Because before I didn't have contracts. I didn't have nothing. It was like, yeah, 10, 50, 50. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Right. And then whenever somebody would quit, like it was like, well, you owe me all my commission. Or whenever somebody would, whatever, you owe me my commission. This isn't that. And so now we have it structured kind of something similar to you, right? Like there's a percentage based off of each step.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And then depending on what percentage they're at, that's what they get paid when we collect the final payment.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
When we collect. Because the guys that I did pay like that, it took me months to collect. Because the homeowners, like, they don't know me.
Yeah.
Right? And so it was harder to collect, but finally we did collect it. But yeah. I think
Well,
we were talking about Daisy, no?
No, we were talking about your biggest struggle, man.
Oh, yeah, the
Scaling.
biggest struggle. The
Yeah,
sales team. My mind's on.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Yeah. And so the sales team, my man,
What advice would you give to guys, man, that are at the 8-figure mark, right? Like, what would you tell them so they don't run into that pitfall that you ran into this year?
just make sure that you have all your systems in place and that
very detailed.
very detailed, and that honestly, man, every time I get a gut feeling,
go with it.
Yes,
Yep.
always.
Yep.
Always.
Trust
always.
your gut, man.
You know, always. And people are like, man, you just overthinking it. You just doing this. I'm like, no, like, how can he be bringing in 100,000 7 months in a row, and then these 2 months he hasn't done nothing?
Right.
Like that make sense.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And then next thing you know, boom. Once he was gone, we found out homeowners started calling me, like, hey, this person did my roof, and I need this and I need that, and I would look it up, and I'm like, I didn't do your roof. I'm like, yeah, he worked with you. He had your shirt.
Oh.
I'm like, I'm sorry, ma'am.
Oh.
And so that's the hardest part, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's so new guys get into roofing, right? And just the sales part of it. What's the best advice you give these guys getting into the roofing industry?
Man, you gotta you got to go all in.
Yeah.
You cannot
Define that.
all in. Like all in. Like you can't do this shit part-time.
Nope.
You can't. I don't care who you are or what you're trying to do, or you can't. You cannot do this part-time.
Yep.
Right? You have to be all in. You have to. Now, there's a big misconception on, like, whenever I tell people you make your own schedule, you are the owner of your time. You can do it. I tell them that can be very good or very bad, right? Very good because you will teach you how to organize your days, but very bad because you think that you're gonna make $100,000 working 2 hours a day. I'm like, that shit don't work like that. That shit don't work like that.
Right. They see the big checks and they go, oh, man, I could go make this amount of money. And they think they could go knock 10 doors. And then all of a sudden, the fucking magic happens.
Yeah.
Like, you got to knock a lot of fucking doors, man.
That's one of the things that you have, back to the knocking doors. If you knock 100 doors and you just get one deal, that one deal will pay you $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000.
If it goes through.
If it goes through, right? But what I'm saying is because sometimes the guys get discouraged because they'll go and they'll knock on 100 doors and they won't get nothing. Then I'm like, okay, you knocked on 100 doors on Monday. What about on Tuesday? Yeah. Nah, man, I didn't knock on none. What about Wednesday? Nah, man, I didn't knock. Okay, like if you were to knock on 100 doors every single day, you're not only gonna get better because you're getting actual practice, right?
Yep.
I always tell the new guys, whenever you're at the door, like we train them at the office, right?
Yeah.
And we do role playing and all that. But sooner or later, they're gonna feel comfortable with us.
Yes.
I'm like, your best teacher is gonna be on the field.
Yep.
Do whatever you want, however you want to open up your pitch. I told them, like, one time I was in, I don't remember what city I was in, but I had the book, the color book. I would knock on the door. I'd be like, hey, how you doing, sir? And I would just hand it to them, and they'd be like, what is this? Oh, it's just so you can pick your color. So I can, for the room. That's how I would open it up. And then they would laugh, right? And then I'd be like, nah, and then I'd go into my pitch.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can try anything.
Yep.
Anything. And at the end of the day, you see what works, what doesn't work.
That's
go.
a good one, dude. You know? I've never heard of that one before, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I teach my guys like this. I got 4 sections to my pitch, man. It's the icebreaker, the intro, the purpose, and the turn and burn. Because the purpose can be so many different things, right? Like after I finished an adjuster appointment, after you finish a build, or even going over there to prep homeowners for a build coming up in the next few days that's going on their block, right? So like the purpose changes all the time, but the turn and burn is the, hey, listen, I'll look at it for you. I'll get you a license inspection report. It takes me about 10 to 15 minutes. Don't worry, I'm not charging you for it. I'll knock on your door when I get finished up. We can go over the report. And I go back and I get my ladder. I don't ask questions, right? I'm like, not like, hey, would you like an inspection? Because every time you ask, what's the answer? No. 100%, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the goal? So 2025, right? Where you guys trajected to do? Like,
we're on pad to do the 10 million.
Okay, cool.
Right? We did fall behind a little bit.
Yeah.
But with this storm that just happened in Anna, it just boom. Like,
yeah. And
so like we're on, as long as we finish the quarter strong, then we're gonna be right there.
Okay.
Right. Next year we're planning to do we're making the org chart so that we can go anywhere between 15 to 18.
Yep.
Right. I feel like we've got the right people on the team now.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. And it's just protecting that culture. Like as soon as I feel that something is off or like there's a core value misalignment, hey, I'm sorry. Like I learned that from Mike. Right.
Yeah.
When I let people go, like, because at first I didn't know how to fire people.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to
I still hate firing people.
Hey, there's a core value misalignment. I'm sorry, my man. We're gonna have to go our separate ways.
Yeah.
Right. Sign me right here.
Yep.
And then bring me all my stuff back. because I've
J.
let
Cole. Hey, before you leave, I'm gonna need my shirt back.
Yeah. And especially if we owe them commission, right?
Yeah.
I tell them like, hey, bring me all the gear back, everything that you have. I'm like, I don't need the hats because I'm not gonna reuse those, but the shirts, I'll take them to the cleaners.
Yeah.
And I'll trade you for the check.
Yep.
Because I've had people keep the shirt on, go knock, cards and everything.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to talk about this. We can edit it, but I remember some shit happened on social media I guess
The Waxahachie storm?
yeah,
Oh yeah,
well,
I already paid my dues there.
I heard you had to put some hands on somebody.
Man, somebody spits in your face, and it's
Yeah.
crazy because
If you spit in my face, listen, I am a reformed person, but if you spit in my face, that is about the only reason I'm going to smack the fuck out of you.
and
And I saw him make that post, and I was like, that is not like Erick to fucking do some shit like that.
yeah, he ended up taking that post down.
Yeah, it was quick.
because he was getting
quick.
he was getting a lot of negative feedback. Like, hey, you were just on his team 2 weeks ago. Like, what's up? Like, you're just riding this wave. And I got screenshots of everything. Like people would send me screenshots. Daisy called me and she was freaking out. I'm like, babe, calm down. Like, this shit will blow over.
Yeah.
Nobody will be talking about this shit next week.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I ended up having to settle outside of court. They pressed civil charges, and then so they wanted $35,000. I offered $4,000. I offered $4,000. I offered $4,000.
You were in the pawn game. I'd be like, hey, I'll give you $4.
Nah, because I talked to my lawyer, and I'm like, all right, Mr. Lawyer, sir, if we were to go to court and we were trying to fight this, how much would I end up spending? He was like, about $12,000. I don't want to give him nothing more than $12,000.
Yeah.
Start at $4,000 and work your way up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
These guys started at $35,000 and then went down to $30,000 and then didn't move from $30,000. And then finally he told me, let's just offer him $20,000. Like, what do you want to do, Erick? Like, you want to go to court? You want to just turn the page and be done with this shit?
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck it, just give him the $20,000. And it was a learning lesson for sure. I won't ever do that shit again. Right?
Yeah.
I think with everything that you go through in life, it's a learning lesson, right?
Absolutely.
Because I used to always say, like, that whole scenario could have been prevented if I didn't approach him.
Yeah.
My intentions were to never put my hands on anybody, right? But what happened made me react.
Yeah.
So, but that taught me that if I ever see anybody that I don't get along with, don't even go near them. For what? It's not worth it.
Right.
Right? It's not worth it.
Especially now when we have so much to lose, right? Like, I mean, I've had guys go, man, I'm going to pull up on you. And I'm like, damn, dude, I wish I had nothing. Like, back when I was broke, I would have probably went outside. But now I'm like, damn, dude, I put my hands on you. All of a sudden, now I'm going to get sued and get myself all wrapped up in some shit that's going to cost me money. You know what I mean?
I was, whenever I was boarding up a house in Anna the other day, and then the guy that details my truck, my truck's at the office, he sent me a screenshot of another person, another sales rep that works for another company, and he was like, hey, I was there that day. I saw when that dude spit in his face, and he gave it to him. And then so he sent me the screenshot. So I can't do shit with it now because I already paid him. But I'm all like, somebody that I don't even know, was there and saw it too. But it is what it is.
It is what it is, right? Yeah. So let me ask you a question, right? So now, what are you looking for when you're hiring people or looking for people to join your team? Like, what are some of the qualifications? What are some of the things you're looking at in a person before you bring them onto the team?
So before we kind of switched it up this year as far as the whole hiring process.
Okay.
At the beginning of the year, which was one of the reasons why it took us a while to get, I think I'm back up to like 24, 25 right now.
Cool.
But it took me a while to get back up to that number just because of the way that I was hiring.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know what your initial process is, but like if I have an ad on Indeed or WizHire or whatever those platforms are, like before it was like, all right, take this disc assessment and send me a 60-second video of you, right? That was good because if they didn't take the disc assessment and they didn't send me the video, they weren't good at following instructions, right? And then the video I would literally be able to weave people right out, right? Just hearing them talk, like, yep, he's not, nope.
Yep.
And then but it was taking way too long. It was taking way too long. And then I gave the disc assessment to my team, right? And my top producer didn't score very high on it.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, I'm not really gonna go based off of this disc assessment anymore.
Right.
I'm just gonna try to I'm just gonna try to fill up the room.
Yeah.
Right. And then do you have a recruiter here? Or do you have, or who does the interviews?
I literally just hired an in-house recruiter because of the turnover, man. Like, roofing organically has high turnover.
Oh, 100%.
No matter how good your culture is, like, you're always going to have a revolving door of people on that bottom that just can't. They can't do it, bro. This isn't for everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, now that I have a recruiter, she's going to be doing the interviews. I agree with you on the personality assessment. I had my top 5 guys take a personality assessment because I was going to have a customized one on what exactly I was looking for. And all of their personality assessments were completely fucking different. They didn't even match, like, the next person. They were all over the place.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like, so you really can't. I don't know. The personality assessment, I kind of got rid of that because I was like, you can't really rely on that as much in roofing, right? You rely on their attitude, their work ethic, like what they look like, how they communicate, like all the personality stuff. Like, I don't know if that really correlates in roofing. You know what I mean? Because I've seen guys in all walks of life make $150,000, $200,000 a year, right? Like, sometimes it's always the guys that I'm like, man, this guy's gonna kill it. He's gonna be $1 million producer. He's the one who shits the bed. And then it's this other guy that I'm like, man, I don't know, like, we'll give him a shot. And then he becomes like the fucking best guy. Like, you're like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. My people picker might be just off, or it's just like, I don't know. Just because I don't know. So now I have somebody unbiased that has been in recruiting for quite some time that's going to do some of the talent acquisition and do some of and also, like, check in on those guys too, like, to see, like, how their first week is, how their first 30 days has been, because they don't really want to give that feedback to their team lead or to me, or, you know what I mean? They don't want to, like, get in trouble or, like, complain, but we also want that feedback from the guys, like, as to, like, what they're struggling with, what they're not, like, learning, like, what is, where our loopholes are, so we can get better when it comes to onboarding, because as well as I do, like, it costs a lot of money to recruit even just one person, and then the turnover costs money too, right? And then it's like, so when someone comes in, we want to make sure that we have all of our boxes checked as far as making sure this guy has. Yeah, I joke around. I go, make sure he has his lunchbox and his backpack and all his stuff, and all his tools work. And he, because the onboarding is just as important as the recruiting as it is important, the training and then the leadership.
So what does your onboarding and training look like?
So when it comes to onboarding, one, we have an onboarding where all the new guys, if you're here less than 30 days, like, we do an onboarding. It's once a week. It's an hour where we go through the apps, how to use HailTrace, how to use AccuLinks, how to use RepCard, how to use GroupMe, like all the basic essential stuff. You know what I mean? Then the next week, it's learning the basics of the pitch, right? Just the basic formulation of the pitch, right? And then plus questions that they had.
Is it one day a week, or is it the whole week?
No, it's not the whole week. No, gotcha. Because we do it 1 hour, and we do that for 4 weeks just to make sure that, because sometimes we'll hire guys and they come in like week 2, right? And we hired some guy last week. And so it's like kind of some of the same stuff over and over again. But some guys, like, it's a refresher course, right? Like, they're like, wait, I didn't learn that last time, or I was trying this on this app or whatever. And so we're perfecting that part. And then we have trainings throughout the week. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we all have an in-house training. So that's so Monday's our company meeting at 11. Wednesday is Work Order Wednesday, which is reading insurance paperwork, how to structure a deal, how to do retail estimates.
For an hour?
No, these are 2 hours.
Those are 2 hours.
Yeah. And so they're not, like, mandatory. It's just highly, like, because if a
whoever
guy
shows up, shows up.
Exactly. Because and then on Friday we have Filer Friday, which is overcoming rebuttals, knocking on doors, walking people through the claim filing process, like things like that, right? To get through that first hurdle of filing a claim, right? And that happens throughout the week. And then we have RSRA. So shout out to Roofing Solar Reform Alliance. I love Adam Bensman. I'm on the board of directors with them.
The roof strategist?
Yeah. So Adam Bensman, John Cenac, Deshaun Bryant, Cody Landels, like some of the top national sales trainers in roofing are on there. I'm on there too. And we have Zoom calls, right? And they have Zoom calls for sales reps, and then they have Zoom calls for leadership, and then they have Zoom calls for business owners, right? Like stuff. So it's kind of like a mastermind for roofing, except so you're always able to get the new information going on in the roofing industry, and they have access to what they need access to. You know what I mean? And so we have those trainings throughout the week too. So there's probably 8 to 12 trainings that people can go to every week, right? But also you need to go apply that information too, right? So, so it's there's never a lack of training. And so we tell guys, these are all the resources. You can literally learn at your own pace. So if you're getting it and you want to hop on all these trainings and get better, do it. If you want to just focus on trying to figure out how to get on a roof, then show up to these trainings, but they're all topic related. So they know what to show up to based off of their own self-awareness of what they need to learn. You see what I mean?
Gotcha.
So that's how we onboard our guys.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were doing the whole interviewing, and it could get draining sometimes, right? Because you set up 5 interviews in a day, and they just say they're 30 minutes, and then you're burnt out, right? And then none of them show up, right? Yeah. Because a lot of people, I always like to say that a lot of people are curious about the industry, but once they find out, they're no longer serious about it, right?
Yeah.
And so what we did for a while, for about 5 or 6 months, we started this Founders Day to where it's like a group interview, right?
Yeah.
And we start pushing it. We go on Indeed. We call everybody, hey, come up on this day, come this day. And then we
have an event.
It's a 2-hour presentation.
Yeah.
And it's literally a slideshow. I get up there, I talk, Chris gets up there, he talks, and then leadership, sales leads get up there, operations gets up there, just a little bit of everything so they can meet the team. And then I go through what it is that we do.
Yep.
But the very first slide that after the welcome, it says, this is a commission-based only job with KPIs. If this is something that you do not want to sit through, have a great day and good luck. Because we would have people sit through the whole 2-hour presentation and then tell us, oh man, no, I need a weekly paycheck.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you can get one here. You just got to work.
Right.
Right. And so we started doing that. And then right after that, so if we have the Founders Day on a Thursday or Friday, then we put them through a 14-day, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, academy training.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's all trial and error.
Right.
We did it this year. We had a couple people stick around. We had a couple people do good. But I am a strong believer that your brain can only take so much.
Yeah.
And then after that, you're in la land. Right.
Yeah.
So we might have to make some changes to that. But I didn't necessarily want to bring people in just randomly. Right?
Yeah.
But I just brought 2 people in randomly, and that was probably one of the best decisions I made because these guys are out there getting it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the things is just to never stop recruiting. You always have to be recruiting.
We're
especially
in the
with
recruiting industry.
Yeah, especially with our reps, right? I always tell them, hey, you gotta bring in your friends and family. You're the truth. You're actually living it, that we're successful, that you can do something with this industry.
Absolutely.
And so we're finding ways to be able to bring more people in.
Yeah.
But the turnover rate,
it's same across the board, man. Mm-hmm. It's how many people can you recruit and then train and retain?
Yeah.
And retain comes down to that culture. When you, I see you take your guys out to a dinner, right? Mm-hmm. So is that something, what they do, 100,000 in sales, or what's the, for them to go to dinner with you? What does that look like?
So if they do 100,000 in sales in a single month, then, we give them a little cash bonus and then we take them to a dinner.
Okay.
So, and it's a +1, and then we pick a nice fancy steakhouse, something that I probably haven't even gone to. Honestly, the only time I go to those fancy steakhouses is when I'm eating with the people from work.
Right.
I really don't. I don't got time to really go out right now. And it's, I think the biggest group that I've had, I think we did 1.8 million in a month, and I had we had a whole section at Bob's, like a whole little room in the back. That one,
that's badass.
That one was clean.
Bob's is a spot. That's one of my favorite spots, man. Have you ever been to SDK?
Yes, in Vegas. I went to Vegas recently.
Okay, they have one in Dallas, man. It's really nice too, dude. It has
I went there the other day too. We actually just went there for our 100K, I think 2 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good, man.
Yeah, it is good.
It's good. It's a good vibe. It feels like Vegas.
Yeah, it does. Music's loud. Everything's blasting.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. All right, cool. So listen, when we get to the tail end of this, right, I always have one question for people, man. Well, really, is what has been the hardest part, right, in the roofing industry, and how have you overcome it? What was the hardest knock?
The hardest knock?
The hardest problem that you've ran into in roofing, how did you overcome it?
Man, I think my biggest thing is the cash flow.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You'll have fucking 600, 700, 800,000 in your account one week, and then the next week you're like, what? Like how? Like what the fuck did we pay?
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's for me is that has been one of the toughest things is when I see the account get low at times.
Yep.
And I used to panic. Right, I used to panic. I'm like, "What the fuck are we gonna do? We're gonna go bankrupt. I'm gonna lose the house. I'm gonna lose the car. I'm gonna lose everything."
Yeah.
And now it's just having my game face on, right? Like nobody in the company will know, like if we're low on cash one day.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's happened. It happens every once in a while.
So we're like poker face.
I keep my poker face. Everything's good. Yeah, what's up, man? Like they won't ever know, right? Because 100%. The moment you do that, what happens?
Yeah, everybody
starts freaking out.
Yep.
Everybody starts freaking out.
Yep.
Right. One of our operations managers had access to our account once, and it got a little low, right?
Yeah.
And then he was newer to the position, and then he ended up telling one of the guys. The guys told everybody, and then they all started coming up to me like, "Hey, bro, like, are we gonna be okay?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, bro, chill, chill." And then it happens, you know, especially with you know. When you're growing and you're trying to do something big, right? A lot of these contractors, a lot of these one-offs, right? How much do you pay in overhead? That's crazy. I'm like, yeah, bro, but like, look at what we have.
Right.
Look at the systems, the people, the everything.
Yeah.
Right. Like this is what I was just telling the guys today, right? Because one of the guys was telling me, man, I lost a deal to one of the guys, a door knocker that said, you don't have to pay nothing out of pocket. I'll give you a Class 4 shingle and put $1,000 in your pocket. And I'm all like, you know what? He probably could do that, right? And I can guarantee you he's probably a one-man army. And I can guarantee you he's probably going to make a couple thousand compared to what he's really supposed to be making, right? And I can guarantee you, this is how I always work around that rebuttal. I'm like, look, Mrs. Homeowner, I believe you.
Yeah.
This guy could do that. But just think about it. He probably told you that he doesn't have an office and he doesn't have overhead, so he can give you a better price and do this. What's going to happen when he hits an AC line? What's going to happen when he hits a water line?
Right.
What's going to happen when he breaks something? Because keep in mind, Mrs. Homeowner, this is construction. Stuff happens, right? We have a team that the overhead covers. We're here that same day or if not the next day. And then I have videos because I've hit gas lines. I've hit water lines.
We all have.
And I have videos showing like, hey, look, this is Waxahachie. Right after the Waxahachie incident, we hit a water line. And we got it right then and there, thank God. We turned the water off. We fixed it, got the plumber out there look, see? Like, we're able to do that. Now, do you really think that the guy that doesn't have a team that is giving you all this stuff and putting money back in your pocket is going to come back and fix this?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you get what you pay for, Mrs. Homeowner.
And I show homeowners so the SBA has a statistic, and it says that 78% of all roofing contractors go out of business year one. So to be in business, and then after that, 50% of those go out of business. So now you're at 11%. Then 50% after that, 50% after that. So for people like me and you, we are 2% of the roofing companies that actually have made it. Like, and so when people talk about a warranty, I'm like, well, a warranty only means something if they're around. And if you've been in business for 7 years, you're part of the 1%. when you're doing 8 figures like you guys are doing, you're part of the top 1% of businesses. Like most people are not doing those numbers. You know what I mean? So like, congratulations to you, dude. I really love your movement, bro. I love the culture that you're building. I love how you connect with everybody in the industry. I love how you've gotten your guys out to the Texas Fair. You've built this really cool culture. You come from the bottom, right? You were an actual laborer I was not that. I will be honest with you. My first year in roofing, dude, I had no idea how a roof was put together. I am a sales guy, but now I know how a roof's put together, but it's taken some time, right? But like, people like you, man, who have come from the bottom, man, you truly represent what it is to grow in this roofing industry, man. You've been through the hard knocks. I respect you, bro. You'll always be somebody that I hold in a high regard. I'm excited for your future, dude, because I know you're going to go far. I know you know what you're doing now. And next year, what's the goal?
Man, hopefully I bust out 20, but
20?
20. That's
20.
That's the real number,
Yeah,
20.
yeah.
I'm like, man, fuck doing 15. I'm like, with what we have right now, we get just a couple more guys. There's no reason why we shouldn't do 20.
Hell yeah, dude. And why should guys go work for E&D Premier Roofing and Solar?
So the purpose that we have is to make an impact on everybody that walks in through the door, right? It's not necessarily just teach you how to make a whole bunch of money and then, oh, okay, you're done. Right. We try to make you a better person all the way around.
100%.
Right? Like I stopped drinking in 2022. Yeah. So now there's a lot of people around me, right, that stopped drinking.
Yeah.
Going back to like earlier you said what do I look for in sales reps?
Yep.
Right? Whenever the Laniers was barely getting started out and all these guys that are in the fitness industry, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm like, I need to go hire some swole ass guys. That's what I need to do. I need to go hire some swole ass guys. That's what I need.
Right.
And I was over here all fucking fat.
Yeah.
Right?
You
and I'm
lost
all
a
like,
lot of weight.
I lost 100 pounds.
Woo!
And I'm all like, how in the hell can I go and recruit all these decent, swole-looking guys if I look like a fucking slob?
Right.
Right? So then that's when I made the decision. I'm like, I have to become the best version of myself.
Absolutely.
Right? And going back to Ryan Stillman, right? The first time I ever found out about Ryan Stillman was in 2021 when he had the $1 million mastermind at the Galleria.
Yeah.
Buddies of mine had 2 extra tickets. I went, right? Imposter syndrome like a bitch. Like, I was like, I'm not supposed to be here. What the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah.
Like, I'm the only essay here. Like, I'm not supposed to be here, right?
Yeah.
But that shit changed my life because Ryan has that exercise where he makes you close your eyes, look to the right, and then like imagine what you look like, what you smell like, how does your bank account look, and then step into the right. That's who you're meant to be. I'm like, that's who I've been chasing ever since that day.
Absolutely.
Right. So when people come into the industry to my office, I help them not only change their mindset on becoming financially free, but their mind. I help them rewire their mind, bro.
Absolutely.
Like that whole Ryan Stillman had a Rewired podcast. I listened to every fucking episode.
Yeah.
I would get through it. I'd start it over again.
Yeah.
You know, because it helped, you know, because we're wired a certain way, the way that we grow up, but it's not the way that it's supposed to be.
Yep.
And so, so anybody coming in, it's not just, you're not going to pick up any bad habits. Not with my people.
Yep.
Right? We're going to take care of you. We're going to make you feel like family, and we're going to help you become the best version of yourself.
Hell yeah, man. Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. How can they reach you out on social media? What's your handle?
It is E&D Premier Roofing, and for Facebook and for Instagram is EDP_roofing.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Shit, I don't know.
Listen, guys, Erick is an up and coming. I can't even say up and coming because he's already up, but he keeps going up year after year. If you're in Garland, Texas, okay, and you're looking for a home, all right, Erick is the spot to be at. I love this guy. I love his core values. I love what he represents. He has the culture. He has everything that's necessary for you to succeed in roofing. So if you want to reach out to him, like I said, he has just given you his handle, Erick thank you for being on the Hard Knocks podcast, bro. It's been a pleasure. We're going to do it again.
For sure.
Next year, bro. And we're going to talk about the numbers because I know you're going to hit that 20 million.
Or 20. Hopefully when I come in next year, I'm already at 20. You know what I'm saying? What we in, October?
Yeah.
September?
100%, dude.
I bet.
Let's do it. My man, I appreciate you coming in.